I'm Elex Michaelson. This week on The Issue is Musk versus Zuck, Twitter versus Threads, and the battle to control the world's information flow. With us, tech expert Jessica Naziri and Bloomberg journalist Katie Roof. Then, The Issue is a new majority leader in Sacramento. Isaac Bryan shares his remarkable life story as The Issue is starts right now.
Broadcasting across California, you're watching The Issue Is.
And welcome to The Issue Is. I'm Elex Michaelson. You see our panel standing by here, very patriotic looks. I think the most interesting topic of the week is a battle between two California companies to control how we communicate. Think about it. 20 years ago, a story on the front page of the New York Times basically set the agenda for all national and local newsrooms across the country. Well, nowadays, what's trending on Twitter has basically set the national agenda. Even if you're not on Twitter, chances are the journalists, the politicians, the thought leaders that you listen to are on Twitter, and that's where they get their news. That's the main reason that Elon Musk spent over $44 billion to control the app. Now Musk is getting serious competition from Mark Zuckerberg, who essentially created a Twitter copy named Threads, which is seeing record downloads in just days. Let's discuss all this, what it means for our society with our panel. Jessica Naziri has talked tech for the LA Times, CNN, and CNBC. She's the mother of a very cute newborn baby. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And before that, she birthed a work baby called techsesh.co, which is filled with gadget reviews. Congrats on that. Katie Roof specializes in reporting on venture and tech deals for Bloomberg. You can read her work for yourself at Bloomberg.com. Welcome to you both to The Issue Is for the first time. It's great to have you both.
It's so exciting to be here.
Yeah, and it's quite a topic to talk about, too. Let's start with you. Why were they able to pull this off? Threads with over 70 million downloads in just a couple days. We have never seen anything like this with an app ever.
Ever. Shrewd but smart tactics. You can log on to Threads by logging into Instagram, and it actually takes your followers along with you. So this is really great for brands. They'll automatically have such a big base, and it's a reason to want to stay on that app.
Yeah, and why do you think they were able to pull this off as well? Because part of that is you automatically get your followers, which was not true for something like Mastodon, which tried to do this, and you had to basically start from scratch.
Sure, yeah, it's the network effect. I mean, Facebook's network is unrivaled. You had Instagram, which has 2 billion users on it, and even though just a fraction of them signed up, you already got to 70 million in short order. Some of the other sites, like Blue Sky, which was started in part by Jack Dorsey, tried to create Twitter rivals, but they took the opposite approach, where they were trying to keep it to a select group of people that were invite only, but as a result, you have a lot fewer people on it and a lot less people who can even join it and talk about it. So
and let's not forget, sorry to interrupt, but they launched at the most perfect time. I mean, right now you see the moderation is 0 to none on Twitter. Musk just a few days ago decided to have less views. You can only see about maybe like 600 tweets per day, and things are just going down really fast. And this is why one reason people are like, okay, I'm sick of this app. They're making it hard for me. I'm no longer verified. I have to pay to play. So many reasons for people to want to jump ship on a new app.
There was this big opening, and Mark Zuckerberg seems to step into that. And Mark Zuckerberg has a knack for either buying ideas he likes, or if he can't do that, copying them. Remember this, he bought WhatsApp, he bought Instagram, but when the folks behind Snapchat wouldn't sell to him, he created Instagram Stories, which is essentially Snapchat. TikTok is one of Meta's biggest competitors worldwide right now, so Meta created Instagram Reels. Now, Elon Musk says Zuckerberg copied him so much that he's threatening to sue. We don't know what's going to happen on that front. But Katie, this does seem to be part of a strategy for Zuckerberg, and it's worked for him.
yeah, it's definitely worked multiple times. Certainly, you know, Elon is trying to fight this with lawyers, but Facebook has deep pockets, as many people pointed out. It might be hard to you know, surpass what they're going to claim is their right to innovate and improve upon ideas that are already out there. But I'll leave it to the lawyers to figure out who wins here.
Yeah, and it's interesting also to think about this, Jessica, because Mark Zuckerberg was like the face of evil a few years ago for some people. And now he's getting good press because so many people are so frustrated with Elon Musk.
Right.
So do you think it can be a real competitor? I mean, can this actually bring down Twitter?
Okay, so I think these are two separate apps. I don't think that they're equally on the same playing field. Twitter, I think of news, and I think of now a place where you go and there's actually, as Musk likes to say, less censorship. Everyone can come on. It's freedom of speech. And then you have Threads, on the other hand, where it's more celebrities, it's more influencers, it's more of marketing, and so there's two different things going on here.
Do you think that Threads can be essentially a news delivery platform? Because that's what makes Twitter so powerful, right? On breaking news, it's where so many people go, it's where so many news people are all the time. Can Threads replace Twitter in that space?
I think that will depend on whether people like us and other journalists are out there joining it, posting on it. I've seen already a lot of journalists quick to join. Many already had public-facing Instagram accounts, and they were able to convert some of those followers. Many of us didn't, and we're starting all over from scratch. But I think that it remains to be seen. I mean, you look at Clubhouse, which got early traction and was the hottest app, and then it was a flash in the pan.
Yeah, that was an app where people would speak, right? And there was these rooms where people would speak together, and every influencer was doing that for about a month and a half, and then it just seemed to go away.
It was a pandemic app.
Yeah, and then, but you've also had things like MySpace or even Friendster from back in the day, which were popular social media apps that went away. So it remains to be seen, you know, who is going to be the victor here.
What is the Elon Musk strategy to fight back? Obviously, you talked about the lawsuits, but what does Twitter do to try to keep that space and stop Threads from taking over?
Well, I think they're trying to differentiate themselves. First, they are trying to be the platform for free speech. Elon claims that some of the other sites were cutting back too much and cutting people that didn't deserve to be blocked from the website. So he's been bringing people back on. But, you know, while some people are excited about that, many others are upset about that. So they also have ideas to be more than just a social media site. The Everything app, X, Twitter's supposed to be part of a bigger thing here. But yeah, he hasn't really delivered on much else besides Twitter itself yet.
And what do you think is the impact on the election as well? Because you think about that's the way that so many people communicate now or get their news. Yeah. I just hope we don't have a situation where, say, you know, more right-wing people who are like Elon Musk, screw the man, you know, support him on Twitter, we're staying on there. And then maybe some more left-wing people say, I hate Elon Musk, I'm going to Threads. And then people don't talk to each other. I mean, don't you think there's some value in being someplace, somewhere where people can get at least similar facts to have a discussion? Sure,
absolutely. I think it's very possible that one site will have more of a right-wing bent and one site will have more of a left-wing bent, but you have a lot of leftists already on Twitter. You have a lot of right-wing people who were using Instagram, so I don't think it's going to be the case where it's only one or only the other.
Yeah.
It's interesting because people are already getting banned on Threads. So I've been seeing this.
Wow.
And also something you want to keep in mind when it comes to the elections and it being fair, you do need to delete Instagram to delete Threads. So there's a lot of data privacy issues as well. You know, so I feel like that would be something that news organizations may not want to take part in.
Yeah, and very, very interesting on that front. Meanwhile, you know, there was this sort of challenge of an actual fight between Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk. Is that going to happen, and does this make it more or less likely that that's going to happen?
I hope it happens. I mean, I think I'm here for it. I'll get the first row seat.
Yeah.
That would be really fun to watch.
Your thoughts on that, the real throwdown?
Oh, it would definitely be entertaining, but I don't know if the lawyers will allow it at this point. You know, there's a legal drama unfolding, so.
My money's on Elon.
You think so?
Yeah, I think
he's a bigger dude,
yeah.
but Mark's a little more fit.
Yeah, Zuckerberg's been training with some sort of fighting classes. I don't know all the details, but apparently he's in good shape. But Elon's taller, and
yeah.
So.
Well, in the spirit of a potential brawl, we've got music, which is Get Ready from the Temptations, because get ready, here they come. Ladies, what a pleasure to have you here on The Issue Is. Thank you so much. Hope you'll come back. Really appreciate it. Up next, Assemblymember Isaac Bryan is with us. You're watching The Issue Is. Thanks for watching. We'll dance it out when we go to the break. There we go. I love it.
I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations. Enjoy it.
This week, Speaker Robert Rivas named Assemblymember Isaac Bryan of Los Angeles as Majority Leader. At just 31, Bryan is among the youngest legislators and now one of the top leaders. Isaac Bryan, welcome to The Issue Is for the very first time, and congrats on the new gig.
Alex, it's good to be with you. Thank you for having me.
So, Majority Leader,
Yes,
what
sir.
does that role mean to you?
It means that we've got a lot of work to do for all of California. It means that we have a Democratic supermajority, and the Speaker has entrusted me, my colleagues have entrusted me to be a part of helping guide that in a direction that uplifts everybody. But I wouldn't be this without Speaker Rivas, so I want to give a shout out to him and looking forward to his leadership.
Yeah, and he's brand new into that job. We're going to talk to him next week, actually, here on The Issue Is. But in the meantime, I want to talk more about you, because I think you have such a remarkable life story, like it's going to be a movie someday. So I should start optioning the rights or something. Let's talk about your beginnings, because for a lot of people, this is an introduction to your story, because you do not have the typical story.
No, I don't. Politics is not like a family thing or a pathway I expected. My mother was 16 years old. She survived a rape. She got pregnant with me. She lived in deep poverty. She couldn't keep me, gave me up. I went to 2 different foster homes. My second foster home as an infant I was adopted in, the Bryan family. They did foster care for 26 years. They adopted 9 of us. I had hundreds of foster siblings growing up in the Bryan family. We moved a lot to make ends meet. I went to a lot of different schools. I've seen the way systems fail folks. I've seen the way systems have failed my siblings, my foster siblings, and to be in a position now to be able to change those systems and make them the kind of civic infrastructures that allow for everyone to thrive is an opportunity I'm looking forward to.
And school at first was challenging for you, right?
Incredibly challenging. I mean, I failed out of middle school. I'm famous in my 3rd high school for getting an F- in my English class. I felt disconnected from education. I thought it was not matching up with the lived experience I was having.
And then somehow you're able to figure it out, end up at UCLA, and graduate first in your class?
Top of my master's program. If I'm being completely honest, the same class I got an F- in English is the classroom I watched Barack Obama sworn in as president. The next year I was Government Student of the Year. And so there was seeing yourself, representation, it makes a difference. And so to be in a position as majority leader with the kind of life history I've had, I know it's representation for a lot of people across California.
Well, and now you have an opportunity to bring some of those voices to Sacramento. A lot of voices, frankly, the foster system that don't have great lobbyists, right? Because they don't have a lot of money. Those people are left behind. What are some of the big policy proposals or policy priorities you have now in this job because of that lived experience?
No, absolutely. When you've seen the way systems have failed families and failed children, it gives you a different perspective on the urgency and how important this is. One bill in particular this year I want to share is AB 1512. Counties, for children in the child welfare system who have lost their parents, those children are due survivor benefits. It's different than the child welfare allocations counties normally get. That money belongs to the young people. But right now, California counties are keeping that money. They're siphoning it off to offset the cost of the system. Other states don't do this. It's bipartisan. Nebraska, Maryland, and so many others. Texas is trying. We're going to set that money aside in bank accounts for those young children, and we're going to do it this year.
You know, you're young, 31 years old, and now you're one of the leaders of a lot of folks who have very different experiences than you, look different than you. How is it leading a group of people, many of whom are in their 50s and 60s, when you're 31?
Well, change has always been intergenerational. Right? It's been multiracial. It's people who come from rural areas and densely populated areas. It's about love, compassion, and uplifting the humanity in all of us. And that's what I'm going to try to do as majority leader. And I'm grateful to my colleagues for their trust in my ability to do that.
And part of it also, and we're seeing some pictures of you out in the community, is literally getting out in the community. You say, like, just going to chicken dinners is not the way to do this. Talk about your approach and maybe what politicians can learn from your generation.
Yeah, so I came up as a community organizer in a very real way, trying to organize my neighbors, trying to organize LA County, trying to push for the changes that we needed. And when I became an elected official, it occurred to me that oftentimes that's a license to abandon your organizing days. And for me, that's not the case. I go the same places I used to go. I say hi to the same neighbors I've always said hi to. And I know that real power isn't held by me or my colleagues. It's held by the community. I never forget that.
Yeah, I've been out in Lemert Park with you, and you seem to know everybody there, and they seem to have a lot of love for you there. So the reason that this is happening is because there has been this leadership change. Robert Rivas is now in charge as Speaker, and there was a fight within the Democratic Party. Anthony Rendon, who we just had on the show, wanted to stay as Speaker, and there was a pushback to get him out of there. What is the difference now for the average Californian with Speaker Robert Rivas versus Speaker Anthony Rendon? What does that mean for their life?
Yeah, to be clear, Anthony Rendon was an incredible speaker. I have just incredibly fond memories. I remember when his mother passed away, he came back to the legislature the next day and testified on SB 2, our police decertification bill. But for Robert Rivas, Rob grew up in farm worker housing. Rob is the kind of, Speaker Rivas is the kind of legislator who shouldn't exist in California, certainly shouldn't be leading the assembly. And when I say shouldn't, it's because these institutions weren't designed for people at the margins to become their leaders. So for him leading it, it means that there's going to be an emphasis on the people who have historically been left out. We're going to lift from the bottom and make sure that everybody rises.
And is there an example of maybe a policy change that didn't happen before that's going to happen now?
Well, since we're only a week in, I can't say that the policy shift has immediately happened, but there is a culture shift happening right now, one where all legislators are seen and heard as a representation of all of California.
Let's talk a little bit more about you. What do you think is the lesson that all of us can learn from your mother?
That if you lead with compassion and you love without restriction, you can improve the conditions of life for all of those around you. And for my mother, has spent decades doing that for children in the child welfare system. And for the 9 of us that she's adopted, she's one of my heroes. And I continually learn from her.
You're not a father yet, although you are a dog dad.
Correct.
And your dog, I think, is bigger than me. And I'm 6'5". I mean, this dog is enormous. Tell us a little bit about your baby here.
So Darius he's my Great Dane. Me and my fiance Lamara. He is our child. He goes with us around town. He campaigns with us. He stays at hotels with us. He's every bit as much of a child as I could have right now. He's also just the biggest goofball. I enjoy seeing him every day.
How do you fit him into stuff?
He actually curls up real nicely, like you can see there. He's a great cuddler, and I know for Lamar, when I'm on the road, he knows, and then he crawls up into bed and fills my spot because we're about the same size.
He's your replacement. Up next, we're going to play a game called Personal Issues, which I think you've seen here on the show before. But as we go to break, we like to play music. And I don't know if you saw this, but Billboard came out with their list of the greatest rap groups of all time.
Okay.
What do you think is number one on the list? What would be number one on your list? Rap group. So this isn't an individual. Rap group of all time.
Greatest rap group of all. Well, I mean, we're in Los Angeles, so NWA's got to be high. Outkast has got to be in there.
NWA was top 5, but Outkast was number 1.
There we go.
So we're going to break with some Outkast. Your chance to dance. We'll be right back. Yeah. That is Baldwin Hills Democrat Isaac Bryan working at an ice cream parlor when he was younger. Now, as of this week, he is the majority leader of the California Assembly. When you were doing that, was there any part of you that envisioned you could be doing this?
Not at all.
Yeah.
The journey is everything, and I'm incredibly grateful.
And what do you think sort of are the lessons that you learned, though, from that experience, which is not one that most legislators have?
I think just staying humble and doing hard work, doing everything you do with excellence, whether it's scooping ice cream or legislating. You do it with a pure heart and to the best of your ability, and good things can happen.
Does that skill set still remain? I mean, do you ever do that for your girlfriend or anything?
It's like riding a bike. I can do it right now.
Yeah, okay. Next time you're here, we're bringing out ice cream, and we're going to do an ice cream thing. All right, but in the meantime, we're going to have some fun, though. We're going to play a game called Personal Issues. This is where we put 30 seconds up on the clock. We get to know some of your cultural favorites. I think you're going to be especially good at this.
Okay.
All right, here we go. What is your favorite TV show of all time?
The West Wing.
Oh, the best. A favorite band or musical artist?
Tupac.
Tupac. Who's your favorite athlete of all time?
Kobe. Rest in peace.
Favorite actor?
Oh, favorite actor. Denzel.
Favorite book of all time?
The Color of Water.
Best thing about being a Californian?
The people.
Favorite way to relax?
Playing basketball.
And who is your role model?
My mother.
Your mother. And one more time, as we remind people who may just be tuning in, she had how many foster kids?
Nearly 200 and adopted 9 of us.
And what more do you think that our world can learn from that experience, and in terms of what more we can do to improve the foster experience? Because those are the most vulnerable people among us. 50% of people in foster care end up homeless.
Right.
What more can we do on that front?
Or incarcerated. I mean, there's a lot we can do on that front. But the lessons I learned from my mother, a lot of people ask me, as majority leader, you have the power to fix everything now. And that's not the case. The power lies in all of us. And no matter where you are or what you're doing, you can play a part. And my mother definitely played her part. Now the rest of us have to do ours.
Very nice. All right, well, next time you come on, we're going to play Tupac, and we're going to have some ice cream. But in the meantime, I'm playing some Pharrell, and this is Feeling Brand New, because the legislature is feeling brand new with new leadership. Thank you so much, Isaac Bryan. Great to see you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Alex.
Here's your chance to dance it out. We'll be back with more of The Issue Is after this. This is a guy with some real moves. We're also going to do basketball. We're going to do that sometime, too. We actually have a hoop out back. So, yeah.
I'm always ready.
Yeah, yeah. We encourage you to stream The Issue Is podcast every week on demand with extended conversations from our show. Next week, California's new Speaker of the Assembly, Robert Rivas, will join us. That's all for this week. I'm Elex Michaelson. Thanks so much for watching. We leave you with the Above Los Angeles page taking us above Malibu. Have a great week and enjoy the life in the fast lane.